What's good, everybody? Man, y'all got the chat popping already. Like I hopped on like backstage and I'm like, y'all going hard in the chat, which I love to see. What's up, y'all? Thank you for coming back to see us this week. We had a phenomenal first week of the show last Sunday. So I appreciate y'all. I see y'all in the chat. Ryan Day's beard is back. I love that name. Barb Barrett going back and forth. Somebody said Yoder sucks. Yoder is like one of the few likable Michigan people. He does suck, but I like him. But anyway, listen, I got the man Funky Buck back with me this week. Say what's good to the people, Funky.
What's up? What's up, Scoop family? Yeah, I'm happy to be back for another show number 2. Excited to discuss some Michigan stuff. Jim Harbaugh being chosen as the honorary captain for their Week 1 game versus Fresno State. This will also be the banner ceremony for them, which is just, I think it's absolutely, really, it's kind of pitiful and shameful that they'll accept a coach like this right after what just happened with NCAA and the undeniable cheating that the NCAA has said to him in the show clause they gave him. But it's just classic Michigan. Ohio State didn't talk to Jim Tressel for years and years after. He was almost like shunned from the program. And then now they have this happen. Yeah, I just think it's just, I don't even know. It's typical Michigan, and just stiffing it to the NCAA.
Yeah. So let's dive right in. I like it. You got right to it.
Yeah,
Let's dive right in. Listen, we're gonna touch on that first. We're also gonna touch on Will Howard and JJ Smith in the right guard battle. We want to talk about that. But listen, man, like Michigan, they keep doing stuff. For those people like, why are you talking about Michigan still? Well, news keeps breaking and stupid stuff keeps happening. So we're going to keep addressing it. So check it out. I got a few things to say about this, and Funky's right. Like, this is typical Michigan, and I want to address something head on. The fellow over at I think he's on 3, Chris Bayless, one of the Michigan beat writers who's consistently wrong and goofy with their takes. Chris Bayless, he said on Twitter, he basically tried to make it seem like we were being hypocritical for when we brought Tressel back for the to celebrate and honor the 2002 Ohio State championship. Now, let me lay this out, and I'm gonna explain the differences of why this is not. You didn't eat like you thought you did, Chris Bayless. First of all, big difference is, like Funky said, the timing of this. Tressel came back a year after all the sanctions dropped, everything was released, the dust was settled. He came back a full year with the 2002 team. All right. I don't personally have an issue with you bringing Harbaugh back ever again to Michigan. That's not my issue. And that's not a lot of people's issue. The issue is you're so tone deaf and consistently defiant to the NCAA that you will have the balls to announce just what was it, 3 days after the sanctions dropped on Harbaugh that he's coming back to be the honorary captain. That's the issue, Chris and Scum Nation. That's the issue. The timing, the investigation is not even complete. Y'all still in the midst of the investigation. That is where the what are you doing is coming from. So nobody, that's not no hypocrisy. This is not apple for apple. That's not a good comparison. And not only that, to take it a step further, what actually transpired at Ohio State versus what you bums did and are doing is not comparable. That's like comparing Tackgate, a speed ticket, to the Stallions mess and everything sprinkled on top of it from the FBI investigation and all the other mess to a vehicular homicide. That's the difference. Like, so miss me with this, oh, you're being hypocrite. You brought Tressel back. Bringing Harbaugh back is not the issue. It's the timing of it and the consistency of how Michigan has no regard, no remorse. I would not apologize when we all can clearly see the evidence is stacked up against you that you cheated. The coaches knew, Harbaugh knew. I don't care how much y'all deny it. So that's for your boy Chris Bayless out there acting like he doing a victory lap for that take, like it was a great take. It's not a great take.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that. And the fact that Michigan is trying to play like they wanted Jim Harbaugh back in this is the funniest part too. Like, they absolutely did not want Jim Harbaugh back. They were they refused to give him a respectable contract that would protect him from any NCAA punishments, and they wanted him out. They wanted him out years ago, and they still wanted him out. They did not want to re-sign him just as much as Jim Harbaugh did not want to come back because they all knew what was coming. So now they're welcoming him in, being like, "Oh, Jim, my buddy," and like Kirk always brings up that awkward press conference where Ward Manuel's like, "I'm gonna get him to sign an extension." Yeah, yeah, pumping their fists like. That was never going to happen in a million years, and they knew it. Jim knew it. So now they're trying to act like, oh, we're all good buddies. Nothing's going wrong. There's no cold blood. Acting like all the Michigan people don't hate Jim Harbaugh, because basically they hate Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's not a popular person inside Ann Arbor and their football facilities. He's he's just a weird guy, and they wanted him out, and just like they want it. And now they're welcoming back open arms and acting like nothing's going to happen. And 3 days after, he got a show clause and a year suspension from football. So the NFL hopefully acts up, and they have to act up. What do you think, B. Moses? Do you think the NFL is going to like step in and do something?
I mean, the past precedent says they should. Can't talk. Terrell Pryor and Jim Tressel stuff shows. Y'all saw the quote from the commissioner, right? So the past says they should have some type of suspension, but I'm not confident with the politics of the NFL if they're going to do it or not. I'm just not. And honestly, it's really like on the bottom of the totem pole for me as far as, whatever. If it happens, it happens, but they should. They definitely should if they go off of what they've done in the past. You know what I mean? Because it also sends a message that you can just fly the coop and escape punishment, escape accountability, from what you've done in college and just escape to the NFL. What kind of message does that send? So they absolutely should, but I wouldn't bet the farm that they will.
And Roger Goodell has been like very strict on punishments, and he's tried to set that strict precedent. So the only question that I would ever have is how much does the NFL respect NCAA's authority right now? And I would think that would be not much change, but that'd be my only slight worry if they deem what he did in NCAA wasn't as punishable in the NFL. But going back to the Tressel thing, that was way, way less than what Harbaugh got just for Burgergate. And especially after the sign ceiling comes out, and he's going to get another 1 or 2 level 1 violations for that, and it'll be a repeat offender on that as well. So after that, I think they definitely have no choice to suspend him. But for this one time, I'm not completely sold, but I believe they'll do something. Maybe 9 games or 6 game suspension, 5 game suspension, or maybe they'll say it's a 6 game, but he already served the 3 at the beginning of the year last year, so we'll make it a 3 game suspension or something like that. But I think that'd be the most reasonable response just for the signs or for the Burgergate situation.
No, that's a fair point. That's a very good point, actually, that maybe they are waiting for the investigation to end, to see what else is coming down the pike. Because I think you make a good point. You're right, because it's like, what else is there? And from what we've heard, the NCAA president and organization, they partner with the NFL. They talk with them. So maybe we're going to see, you know what I mean? But he absolutely should get popped on some level, few games, something, because especially with how he's thumbing his nose and basically continuously throwing the double bird up to the NCAA. So it's just like, come on, man, something's got to happen.
No, absolutely. I mean, something will happen. There's no doubt. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's a total clown, and he's going to continue to claim innocence. And the timing was perfect on this stuff, though. When he went on that press conference saying, "I don't lie, I don't cheat, I'm a good man, my parents raised me right," and the next day, the NCAA releases a 48-page report that's saying Jim Harbaugh lied. He did this to cheat. He knew about it. He discussed with the person, the whistleblower, that they told him to push the line and get kids on campus. Okay, it was super important, and they need to push the barriers to even the playing field. So that could not have been more perfect timing and make Jim look like a liar and a cheater like he is. So
I'm glad you brought that up, and welcome back, Amber Nicole. I remember you from last week. I appreciate you commenting. And I'm glad you mentioned this. I want to talk about a couple things. Somebody in the chat said, I think it was Ryan Days Beard, who said, great name, said that if the shoe was on the other foot, Scum fans would be crying bloody murder. Basically, they would be just, oh my God, you're filthy. You're just the scum of the earth, whatever. Just like how they overreacted to Tatgate as if it was just, the craziest thing ever, the worst thing ever. But to address what you were saying, Amber, and I'm glad you brought this up. Like Nevadabuck said something last week, and it started to dawn on me, Funky, and I want you to weigh in on this when I finish this little explanation. At first, we were told the NCAA leaked the draft of the NOA, right? That was the the prevailing thought initially. But Nevadabuck mentioned, he said no. He's like, I'm willing to bet that this was leaked by Michigan. And the more and more I thought about it, I was like, yo, like he's right. Like this, I just thought about it. Just think about it. Number one, let me walk y'all through this. Have you ever heard of the NCAA leaking an NOA draft? Ever? Has anybody? I haven't. So that's number one. Number two, if you think about how desperate Michigan is behind the scenes, go back to when this stuff started to really hit and drop. You could look on their message boards from their insiders, basically saying they were playing the long game, which is push this back as far as possible, keep us playing through the season so we can get our championship, and whatever happens, we have our memories. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I do. That was kind of their thinking. So they're so desperate behind the scenes to preserve this fake natty and this tainted success that they're trying to do PR moves, getting out in front of it. Netflix documentary, pushed by David Portnoy, who's a certified clown, but he's influential and has money, and stuff like that in the circles. And push narratives like, let's get out in front of this NOA draft and basically push it the way we want to push it, play the victim role, which they're excellent at doing, and basically just muddy the waters and put it out there and try to win the court of public opinion if the NCAA does come down. So it makes so much more sense that Michigan will release it to try to control the narrative than the NCAA releasing it. I ain't never seen the NCAA release no NOA draft. Why? Now, one last thing with Thamel. Somebody say, well, what about Thamel? Listen, we know these journalists, they want stories. That's the big fish. They want to break something. So I think it's very plausible with how slimy and desperate Michigan is to control the narrative to say, hey, Pete, we got a breaking story for you. But here's the caveat. This is the narrative we want out there. You get the story, but this is the narrative. Nothing's going to happen. It doesn't look like there's going to be much that comes from this, yada, yada, yada. That is what needs to be done if you want to get this story. Like, I think that's very plausible. And remember, Thamel didn't come with this is a fact. He said, I think. And he said it twice in his quote, I think. But he's clearly uninformed because he hasn't been reading all the documents and the evidence from the Big Ten and the NCAA and everything else. But I digress. But go ahead, Funky.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And just to bring this back to what the Michigan beat wants to happen. So one, these are all the things that they've been saying. So let's start at the very beginning at Burgergate. They claimed Burgergate was nothing. They claimed it was just a joke and it was going to be nothing and this is dumb. Michigan just doing this to whatever. But it's a nothing burger. And that ended up being totally, totally, totally wrong. Jim Harbaugh got a 4-year show cause and a 1-year suspension. Plus all these other coaches got hit with more minor stuff. But that ended up being not a nothing burger. Obviously not serious, like too serious, but still very, very it was an obvious lie that they told to everyone. So that's the beginning. And then the next thing that happened, and that took a year to happen. So by the time we figured out that Burgergate wasn't a nothing burger, they all forgot what the Michigan insiders were saying for years. And then they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So they just want to push it down the road. Because putting all that negative energy into their circles would just kick people out earlier. If they said, well, Jim Harbaugh's playing gets suspension, then people will freak out on them, be like, what? So then now with this sign stealing thing, they know what's going to happen. But why would they go out here and say, oh, Michigan's going to get hammered, our vacated wins, all that stuff's going to happen? There's no good thing they can say for that. Because either they're right and they piss and so first of all, they piss everyone off when they say it. And NCAA runs like a tugboat. So by the time that they can be proven right, it'll be 8-9 months after the fact. And all it did in between that 8-9 months was probably getting hate by their own subscribers. People stop watching because people don't want to hear that stuff. Like Michigan fans don't want to hear that they're going to get smacked or their natty's going to take it away. So all those people would have left the site, not watching the videos, not doing anything, being negative Michigan fans and crapping on you for that whole entire 8 to 9 months until you're right. And even when you're right, what did you get for being right? Got a bunch of more unhappy people? But congrats, you got that one right. So Michigan insiders have no reason to be right on this stuff. So they're just going to keep saying stuff, and they're going to keep being pushing stuff more and more and more forward, being like, yeah, nothing's going to happen for a year. So Michigan fans are like, oh, good, I could be another fan for a year and be really happy. They don't care. So they're just going to keep pushing it and pushing it down the road. And even to the day before the punishment, even when the punishment happens, they're still going to push it down the road. They're still going to be, we're taking him to court. This is going to take another 2-3 months. And then even after all that stuff happens, the final straw will be, well, the NCAA has no legislation and Michigan is just going to wait until NCAA dissolves and all this stuff's going to go away and we're going to reinstate our national championship and all the above. So that's going to be the timeline on this. And I can't wait for it to actually happen.
Man, Funky, you just preached a sermon, brother. Listen, we need to clip that whole rant because you are spot on. You nailed that. That's the truth. And their insiders are literally robbing their followers blind. Like constantly we see stories and supposed updates and stuff. And we all be like, they're paying for this? Like y'all actually paying a monthly subscription for this garbage? Yeah. It's ridiculous. And Sam Webb, especially, man, like I've known of this dude just in the circles from following all this stuff for years, man. It's still, it befuddles me that people actually take him seriously. And I don't know if y'all saw the little video I made of when he was stuttering and stammering, trying to explain away the 52 texts that Sharon Moore deleted. And I put the Harlem Nights clip in there. I don't know if y'all hit the Harlem Nights. I might be dating myself, aging myself, but if you ain't seen it, young folk, classic movie, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, go see it. Anyway, there was Michigan fans all in my comments throwing a little cape on to come fly and save Sam Webb. Like, man, get out of here with this garbage. Y'all are brainwashed zombies. And it's cult-like seeing how y'all react to just clear evidence. The cognitive dissonance is astounding to me. Yeah. Yes, it's the blue wall. Absolutely.
And sorry, yeah, Bradley, you're totally right on that. Pissing off Ohio State fans is what happens. And as Colin Cowherd did, he's been doing for months and for really his whole career, he pisses off Ohio State fans, and that's what he does because he knows what gets views. He talks about it all the time. He talks about what stuff gets views, and he only talks about stuff that will get views. So that's why he'll always talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and he'll only talk about really NFL football and college football. You'll rarely hear him talk about other stuff unless it's like the World Series or the World Cup, because people just don't care about it. So, and he knows he's been doing this for years. He's a smart man. Pissing off Ohio State fans is the way to go because he has nothing to lose on that. If he's wrong, so be it. He's been wrong a million times, and he still has a massive platform. So all he cares about is the views he's going to get from every fan base in America. Plus, Michigan fans are going to be like, "Yes, Colin, facts. You're on God. You're right," and that he knows that. So that's why he's doing it. And it's he's nothing to lose either when he's wrong because he's not an insider. He doesn't claim to be an insider. He's just giving his own opinion on it. So.
Yeah, man. And listen, we can wrap this up. I know we've been going for a minute and get to the other stuff, but it's a never ending web of deceit to untangle. So you can literally go on for a while, but Amber's such a great commenter. Didn't you say you was a Bama fan too? I can't remember if that was you, but either way, I appreciate the comments. But yeah, if y'all didn't see Sonny Dykes, the coach of TCU's comments recently, he said that he heard from other coaches that they were cheating, basically. I'm paraphrasing, that they were illegally stealing signs and, to protect themselves. He had 30 days to do that. It's much harder going from week to week to try to revamp all your packages of signals as opposed to a whole 30 days. So they were able to circumvent that. He didn't say it, but I heard from some good sources that he actually put in dummy signals to basically throw them off, thinking they had the right signals, and of course they didn't. So, but that matters. A current college football head coach, all y'all can try to play it down in the media, but Sonny Dykes, a heck of a coach at TCU, went on record saying this is a real thing and we had to look out for it. And he said if they didn't do that, they surely would have lost because of the advantage that Michigan had. So, yeah, miss me with all that. It doesn't matter. You still got to stop us, and it's no big deal, and blah, 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 blah. Stop it.
You're exactly right on that.
Yeah. So, we're going to get to super chats at the end. Please send any super chats you have. We'll get to them, but we wanted to move on and hit on some other things. We're going to circle back to this probably as we flow through it and see more comments. But we definitely wanted to touch on some fall camp happenings, and namely Will Howard, man. Like that's the man we need to talk about. He's been getting a lot of praise this week in interviews and from people watching practice and stuff like that. We know, listen, before fall camp started, my prediction was Will Howard is clearly going to be the starter. That's not a knock on Devin Brown. That's not a knock on Julian Sayin. It's just you don't bring a guy in like that unless you feel that he's going to be the man, right? So with the whole QB competition, and I know some people don't like this, just name a starter. I get it. But Ryan Day has been consistent, even with Justin Fields, who we knew was going to start. He still made him earn it. Like, we're bringing you in to start, but guess what? You still have to go on the field and earn it. Like, prove and show that we brought you in to be the man. We're not just going to hand you the keys day one. You got to come in and prove it. So that's Ryan Day's approach, and I'm fine with that. I don't care because I know who's going to be the starter anyway. You know what I mean? Like we knew eventually at some point CJ Stroud was going to be the starter based off of what we're hearing, but he didn't want to just hand him the keys right away. So anyway, with that said, Will Howard, go listen to the interviews, the DBs, the receivers, talking about how great of a leader he is, the plays he's been making. I mean, gushing over Will Howard. So we know he's the man, you know what I mean? But we wanted to talk about it because it seems like some people in the fan base are still stuck on this weird infatuation with Devin Brown being the starter and how he's not getting a fair shake. It's weird to me, but I want Funky to jump in before I go on any rants about that. But we definitely wanted to talk about the boy Will.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Will Howard was picked here to be the starter. I mean, Ryan Day pretty much had a hand pick on all the transfer quarterbacks. We said no to Cam Ward, and Will Howard was wanted by Lincoln Riley and Ryan Day. So that's pretty good company. So, and also just looking back on Will Howard's big games, we talked pre-show a little bit about the schedule and Ohio State schedule and how obviously the Oregon game and the Penn State game are two big road games that we playing against. But Will Howard has proven throughout his whole entire career he can go on the road and beat people. This isn't a freshman quarterback that we're bringing, and we're not worried about. I'm always worried when we have like a first-year starting quarterback and it's on the road and at Michigan, at Penn State, at Oregon, or whatever, or at Iowa. It's always a little scary. Those seems like the games that we screw up a little bit. But Will Howard's been there, done that. Devin Brown, Julian Sayin, great players. I think Julian Sayin will be a superstar for us next year, though. But Will Howard's been there and done that. And I just think having that security blanket with the running game and the defense is the big thing that's going to push him over the top, that he's done that and he has the tape on it. Devin Brown doesn't have much tape in game. He had his opportunity and he got injured. Will Howard has the tape and they love the tape. So I feel like he's been the one to beat. And then during training camp, where he's lost 15 pounds and he looks really good and he's looked really fast. He topped out at, 22, 23 miles per hour on a jet sweep or something like that.
I saw that. Make somebody mad saying that. Go.
Yeah, I know. Like, he's been on a jet sweep and he ran that fast, that big. I mean, talk about like Josh Allen, type, body type, but he's been a lot more compared to Josh Allen. You can compare his body type. His arm count's probably a little weaker, but he's also been a lot less. He doesn't turn the ball over as much as Josh Allen does, and he doesn't need to be the superstar. Like that comment he made recently was great. I mean, that's exactly what I want to hear from Will Howard. Is you don't need to be Justin Fields or whatever. I'm not sure, like a superstar quarterback at Ohio State who needs to do everything. You just need to do your job. you have all the talent around you. You have one or the top 2 wide receiving core in the nation, the best running back core in the nation, top 10 offensive line, and returning the most starts out of any team in college football this year. So I think Will Howard is the perfect pick for this, and I'm very excited to watch him play against Akron. And I'm excited to throw for 5 touchdowns and finally rush for a touchdown. I haven't seen that one since I was in high school. Didn't see one rushing touchdown all of high school. So yeah, that was great.
Man, listen, you just said a lot that sparked a lot of different thoughts. My mind just went like 5 different ways based off of what you said. My mind went to different places. I thought about Kyle McCord missing the wide open lane against Indiana last year in week 1 for a touchdown. And I was just incensed. Like, what are you doing? Even the announcer on CBS was like, oh, you're going the wrong way. I don't know if y'all remember that play, but I was like, dude, what are you doing? So with that said, yes, man. It's just weird. People are weird, man. People are weird. When he first got announced, you had multiple people saying, Kyle McCord 2.0. I saw former players saying that, former Ohio State players on my page saying it was Kyle McCord 2.0. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, have y'all done any research? Have you taken 2 minutes to go watch this kid? And nobody's saying he's just, John Elway. But the dude is seasoned, experienced. He's won some big games. He's put up big numbers against very good opponents. I mean, he's shown that he's ready to take over an operation like this. And again, yes, the argument is and will continue to be for the doubters. If he put the numbers up he did and did what he did at Kansas State with their, surgeons and scientists on the team that he's throwing to, what is he going to do with these weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Just be logical. You know what I mean? So again, he's going to get in this offense. He's going to pick up the tough first down when he needs to. He's going to pop one, a 50-yarder here. He's going to make plays, but he's also not going to force things, and he doesn't have to. So, I'm very excited about that. Like, it's just, and some people are still kind of, I don't know. But again, going back to this weird infatuation with Devin Brown, look, I picked Devin Brown at the beginning of last year to start. I felt like he had a higher ceiling than Kyle McCord. I thought, he was going to be the better option. But as we got closer to fall camp, I'm like, nah, he's definitely not it. Kyle McCord is going to start. And then as the season started to play out, I can see why he was not the starter. So I like Devin Brown. I think he's a great kid. I got a ton of respect for him and to burn the boats and staying with the program and fighting. I got a ton of respect for him on that.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be ready to spell Howard if something happens. So I'm rooting for Devin Brown to be good and to continue to work and work on his craft and be good when his name is called upon with this long season. So this is not an anti-Devin Brown. It's just weird to see some folks, especially on X. Like I posted about Will Howard being I posted a video about Will Howard running against Texas, and somebody hit me with a laugh out loud. And I'm just like, and then I posted a QB1 pick underneath, and basically they revealed their hand that they're like a Devin Brown stan. Like I'm like, just chill. Like, why y'all do? Some of y'all are just weird, man. Embrace the QB1, which will be Will Howard, and keep it moving.
No, you're exactly right. And the big thing about this, and Will, I saw something in the chat, I think it was by Mega Man. He said we don't need a superstar quarterback to win. That one, I'm going to say this, one, he's absolutely right. There's been Stenson Bennett won a championship. JJ McCarthy won a national championship handing the ball off. And you don't need to be a superstar quarterback to win in college football. Does it help? Sure. But Will Howard is very well as a superstar quarterback. He had around 3 to 5 draft grade last year. And now he's joining a team full of NFL players. This is a borderline NFL team that we're pulling out here, given they'd be rookies now. But this is we could probably fill a roster of NFL team this year with just the amount of players on our team this year, or at least a starting lineup, with some top end talent from some first round picks. And Will Howard had around 3 to 5 draft pick. And that was this year, or the last year. So this year, what can it be? First, second, third round draft pick? We see how high quarterbacks go in the draft. I'd be, if he stays healthy, I would be shocked if he's not a second round draft pick, at least maybe early third, second round draft pick. I'd be shocked if he wasn't, if he was fully healthy. Because with all this talent around him and J.J. Smith coming in and Emeka and Carnell Tate, who's taken huge steps this offseason and is really going to embody that 5-star prospect that he was out of high school going into his sophomore year. He has all the stuff around him, and he's going to be, Bo Nix can be a first-round pick than Will Howard can. Will Howard had a higher draft grade than Bo Nix going into this year, and it's the same thing, same grade level, pretty much the same age, similar situations where it worked out well at Auburn for him, but Oregon, he just needed a new situation. Will Howard, he had a great success at Kansas State, did great things, just needs a new situation to get over the hump. And I think it's going to happen. And I think Will Howard will be a first or second round pick in the NFL draft. And at worst, an early third round pick if stuff doesn't go exactly how we think it is. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Go ahead. You about to say
no,
something?
go to you. No, I'm out of it. Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Listen, I agree. And there's nothing illogical about what you're saying at all. Like, it makes complete sense. You make great points, and I would be disappointed if he didn't, honestly, because to me that just shows that he had a great year and Ohio State had a great year. So, but speaking about the weapons he has, that's an excellent transition, and we can still talk about Will Howard, but J.J. Smith. Listen, man, like, I don't know if y'all have been watching the interviews with Ryan Day and the players and coaches. I do. I know some people don't think you can get anything from it, but I feel like I do, as a person who analyzes and wants to, break things down and have an understanding. I get little stuff from the interviews, but Ryan Day especially, it tickles me when he tries his best to stay away from gushing about Jeremiah Smith. Like, the dude is special, like, consistently, from ex-player to current player to coaching staff to media member, they're all like, man, this dude is real. Like, oh my God, this dude is, we've seen the highlights. You can see how mature he is as a route runner, how physical he is, how unafraid he is. The veteran players on the team, like, oh yeah, he a real one. Like, when you got the head, like the ones you gotta like really get the official approval from, like, they talking about, oh yeah, he a dog. He a dog. Denzel Burke, Iggy, like, it's consistent. So to me, I can't wait to see him play. My prediction is he's going to score twice against Akron. 2 touchdowns against Akron. I think one is going to be a screen, and the other is going to be a slant or a fade. That's my prediction. 2 touchdowns, and the reason why I'm so confident, first of all, it's Akron, but also number 2, I really feel like Ohio State is going to be very intentional to get him production week 1 out the gate. Just to fire a shot to South Florida and SFE and say, yo, look what we doing. We got you. You know what I mean? But J.J. Smith is cold-blooded. Listen, I've been watching Ohio State football for a very long time. Somebody mentioned Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn is probably the last freshman receiver I can remember that I was like, oh, this dude cold. But Jeremiah Smith is so much more physically gifted. I'm talking about physically, not speed. We know Ted Ginn is freaking road runner. I'm saying physically gifted, ready to play as a freshman that I've ever seen as a receiver here, even more than Marv. So the hype is real. It's just a matter of seeing it play out, and I'm not afraid to say it.
No, you're absolutely right on that. And also one thing this like energy reminds me of, more than this, but that's kind of what it reminds me of, is going into that Rose Bowl game in 2021 with Marvin Harrison when he was a freshman. And all I remember hearing on the board and stuff was, or first of all, Buckeye Scoop had Marvin Harrison first. They said from the very beginning, the first day he stepped on campus, that he was breaking records and he was doing all this stuff, and they're super, super high on him. And that was weird because he was like a four-star little, or like late or mid 4-star player. Wasn't like a 5-star guy. I think he was ranked below Kyle McCord in them, so he wasn't getting all the energy when he got him. But right when he got on campus, instantly they're like, "Wow, he's him. He's so good." Blah blah. We never saw any of it until the Rose Bowl game. And I remember Nevada saying he thinks he's calling his shot right now, and he thinks that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to catch 3 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl versus Utah. And he goes out there, and I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game, and I'm like, oh, 1 touchdown, 3rd and 3. Oh, 2nd touchdown. Oh, another 3rd down touchdown. was like, oh my gosh, we have a guy right here. So it's like the same energy that I'm feeling right now with JJ Smith. And it's hard not to get caught up in it and set these gigantic expectations for the kid. But we kind of have to. He's a beast. And I don't remember like the last time a freshman won silver or whatever. I'm forgetting the name. B. Moses, the Iron Buckeye. I don't remember the last time a freshman won that. And he won it like twice. Like, what? Like, how is that?
Doesn't make any sense. Because that's the other thing, y'all, is that it's not just pretty route runs and good and crazy catches. Like Funky said, Iron Buckeye, you have to, and Kirk laid this out the other night, the criteria for it is really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that he won it twice is crazy because there's some who are older than him who haven't won it at all, and they're good players. You have to be, it's like levels of things you have to accomplish. And he's doing this as a true freshman. Everybody talks about his attitude, how mature he is, how he wants to get better. Like all of that on top of his talent is why I'm so confident that, let's just shout it off the rooftops. The dude is a dog. He's going to ball this year. Like I'm not worried at all about him flopping or basically running into a wall and buying into the hype and not playing well. I'm just not. And if he does, I'll eat crow, but it ain't happening.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I think he's he'll be the outside receiver on the X, I believe it's called. And then because Emeka will be in the slot, and then Carnell will be on the other side. That's just disgusting. And then Brandon Inniss is, he's probably the favorite to be the kick returner and punt returner this year, which I can't wait to see. I think the last time we had a return for a touchdown was, 2013, if my memory shakes me right. It was in a big moment, I think versus Wisconsin or something like that. And that was, we haven't won since then. So I'm hoping to see Brandon Inniss get after it. He's healthy now, running good. I'm hoping to see him get into it. Obviously, Emeka, he's going to solidify himself as a first-round pick. He could sneak into the top 10 if he really does what he did his sophomore year and just takes those steps. He's healthy again. Hopefully, Ryan Day keeps him healthy, so that'll be good to see. And then, obviously, Carnell's a beast. So I'm super. I'm almost jittery right now talking about it. We're 20 days away from Ohio State football. It seems I cannot wait. It's going to be great. In 2 weeks until football, Georgia Tech, FSU in Ireland.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that the Saturday? Is that week 0?
Week 0, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, Georgia Tech plus 12.5. Plus 12.5 in Ireland. So I'm not sure. I'll just say usually the road or the underdogs cover in Europe. So I'll leave it at that. But
yeah, no, that's dope. And listen to Mustang. Like the video. If you have not done it, like the video. Click that right now. Let's all take a second. Like it. All right. Cool. So listen, one other thing we wanted to touch on is the battle at right guard. And look, upcoming in future episodes very soon, we're going to talk about the O-line. I cannot wait to cover the O-line. It's been the main topic of hand-wringing and concern from some of our fans. And I got a lot of notes and a lot of thoughts about the O-line. And so we're going to hit that at some point very soon. But with Hinsman, Tegra, and Luke Montgomery in the mix, this is going to be very interesting to see how it pans out. But Funky, I wanted you to give your thoughts about that, and I'll follow up.
Oh, I'm super high on Carson. He was a redshirt sophomore last year. Is that some redshirt or is he a true sophomore?
I think he's a true sophomore.
Was a true sophomore last year. So he has another 2-3 years
this year, I believe. I'll check. I'll double check.
Or something like that. Or I think that was the second year last year. So and then she's going into his third year of playing. And I know he wasn't great last year, but he was always a pretty great blocker, and that showed right when they took him out of the lineup for the Missouri game. They looked like lost cats out there, and I think he was a big part of that kept the O-line solid. And I think he said he's taken. I know for a fact actually he's taken big steps this offseason, and I think bringing in Seth gave him some leadership that he can talk to, having an older guy he can kind of look up to and respect that will push him harder and make him work really hard for this. So I think he's my early favorite for the position, but. I think that Luke Montgomery is also hungry for it. And I think, but either way, all 8 of these guys or sorry, 7 of these guys are going to play. They're going to get on the field. They're going to play. We're hopefully Ryan Day and Chip Kelly with a faster pace offense that Chip Kelly usually runs with rotating offensive linemen a little more. Hope they're all gonna get in. They're all gonna get in, and they all better be in shape because Chip Kelly runs his linemen like crazy. So they're all gonna get in, and that's the best part to be in. Where I feel like we have 7 guys who can all play on the offensive line, and I'm not gonna be sweating bricks the whole time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and that's the other thing we got to remember, y'all. Like Funky said, they're going to play, and because of Chip Kelly, but also because of the schedule, we finally got a scum-like non-conference schedule. You know how their non-conference have been extra trash the past few years. Well, we finally got one where we don't have a big out-of-conference opponent, but it balances out because we got 4 new teams in the Big Ten, one of them being Oregon. So we go at Oregon against the top 5 team. So we add a top 5 team this year. So to me, I don't really care about that. But the point is, we got some time in the first 3 games to get guys in because we're going to smash Akron. We're going to smash, who is it at Western Michigan and Marshall. So we'll have a lot of opportunity for kids to get in and get reps. But with that said about the guard competition, a lot of great stuff about Hensman in the offseason. We've heard a lot of good stuff about him from different sources. And even Tegra. Tegra has been doing well. So really what gives me comfort is that it seems like regardless of who starts, we're going to have some good depth, at that position and on the offensive line in general. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole breakdown about the offensive line soon, and I cannot wait. But this offensive line, y'all don't need to wring y'all's hands. I'm telling y'all, this unit is going to be much better this year. I'm telling you, watch. It's going to be a mixture of experience. Remember, we broke in three first-year starters last year. It's going to be a mixture of experience and a mixture of the scheme changing and improving. Like Funky said, Chip Kelly, he knows how to run the ball. His run concepts are proven. So just relax. I'm telling y'all, relax. And we're gonna dive into that later on when we do the breakdown. But I just wanted to let y'all know about that.
Yeah, and one thing also to add, the big thing that's changed is Will Howard's pocket presence is way better than Kyle McCord's pocket presence. I feel like the O-line got a lot. Yeah, I got to get a lot of slack from them just be able to collapse the pocket on Kyle McCord because he was a standing brick in the middle. So he was a free. They can just go in there and smoke him, and there was nothing to do there. So the fact that Will Howard is a little bigger, so you can see over the offense line, a lot more mobile. And just that's going to be another threat. So offense lines going to have to, or the D lines for the other teams are going to have to rush contain more. Just maybe put a spy, maybe rush and not go all out, just rushing for the freaking cone in the middle. So that made the offensive line look so bad, in my opinion. If you look at all these great offensive lines in the NFL, it's all mobile quarterbacks. And I think that's a huge thing because the mobileness of the quarterback can just help so much. And the offensive line has to be horrible for them to look bad when you have a mobile quarterback who can throw the ball, who as big as Will Howard. So I think that's a huge thing also that's changed. Kyle McCord just was slow as a brick, bro. He could not move for anything. And I don't like Kyle McCord. So that was a frustrating watch this year, but I'm glad Will Howard's going to change it. He's going to bring so much good for this team. He's worth every single penny.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle was just average. He had some moments where I respected him, like against Notre Dame. He made some tough, gritty plays. I don't think he was as terrible as some people said he was last year, but he definitely wasn't good enough, and he just wasn't consistent enough. I didn't see the growth as fast as I wanted to see it, but yeah, to your point, Will has the experience. He has the playmaking ability. He's just a better dude. So again, those trying to say, "Oh, it's Kyle McCord 2.0," congratulations, you're an idiot. That's false, and you're going to see that on full display this year. The difference, along with this team that will be around him and the coaching staff. I cannot freaking wait, man. I can't wait, and I think the fans who are doubting, I think they're going to. they're going to either walk back what they've been saying or they're going to pretend they never said it.
Oh, yeah.
Once we get into the season, and they're like, "Oh, I was tripping." Like, do y'all understand how cold this team is going to be this year?
Yeah.
And this is not one of those, "Oh, we say this every year." No, like this team, this particular team, where everybody we got coming back and what we brought in. Caleb Downs, are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Like, y'all, all right, just sleep on this team if you want.
Yeah, I can't mean that. I can go all in on that. But I saw one comment I want to address from Stack Jr. Biggest thing with McCord for me was he never seemed like he wanted to be there. That was the comment. It wasn't like he didn't want to be there, but it seemed like he was scared the whole entire time. He played scared. It seemed like, I don't know, he didn't seem loose like I would want a quarterback to feel. And he did not give me the confidence. But Will Howard, I mean, he's proven it in games. I mean, he's beating Texas. He's won a Big 12 championship. When he plays, like, I feel like you have confidence when he has the ball. You just don't know what he's going to do. He has so much more power, and he's a veteran, and he's old, and he's experienced. He's been there, done that. He's had bad games. He's had great games. So he's just being able to take that all in. Kyle just seemed scared. And a scared quarterback when you're playing college football, when you have to go into Notre Dame, into Michigan, versus Penn State, I mean, that's a bad position to be in. Because we know how Ohio State fans get and how Ryan Day is, how hard he's on his quarterbacks. I mean, we expect nothing but perfection from our quarterbacks. So I just felt like he felt that pressure the whole entire season. So I'm glad he got a fresh start, and I wish him the best at Syracuse. I think they can win a lot of games this year, but I'm glad we have more of a confident quarterback on our team this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree with all that. He didn't exude confidence. To me, I think some of the intangible stuff of his face expression, and because there was some people who try to say that about Stroud, like, well, he doesn't look at his face, or his body language. And I'm like, that could be a little overblown.
Yeah.
But when you actually watch the gameplay and the results, because to me, I'm all about results. I don't care about your face expression and how you walk to the huddle if you turn around and throw a 50-yard bomb on point, which is what CJ Stroud would do. Well, Kyle, like, some of that would kind of translate to the field, and it's like, man. So yeah, the confidence, it just wasn't there. And look, best of luck to him in Syracuse, but I think we got as an upgrade. I think we got an upgrade, and all these boys coming back to play together is going to be phenomenal, y'all. So take advantage of this and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the word we were trying to use there is Kyle McCord has no aura. He has zero aura. Will Howard has a ton of aura. So that's good. We want that. So
Yeah, absolutely. And Southeast Dago, yes. And Scum fans, they don't want to talk about how trash their quarterback room is. I have zero fear. Orgy strikes zero fear in my heart. Yeah, he's an athlete. He can run, but you can't just run against his defense. And then is it Tuttle? Is it Jack Tuttle? That's his name?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Like, what has he done in his career? Like, their quarterback room, they want to talk, where you're going to lose to Michigan. They listen to Steve DeAce. That's their prince. That's their champion. And he is nervous about that quarterback room. So they don't want to talk about that, though. They're just going to pound their chest, and they're going to try to posture and try to, like, basically write off these tainted wins they've had. But they nervous. They know they staring out a barrel of an 8-4 season. They know that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was checking the betting today, and Michigan's win total is at 8.5 on the majority of sites right now, and the over on that is -130. So they have a it's close to 56% chance, if my math's correct, to lose 4+ games, or sorry, 57% chance to win more than 8 games this year, so win 9+ games. But they have a 43% chance around that to lose 4 games or more this year, which, coming off a national championship, is unheard of, because usually the odds are a little skewed towards you because you won the national championship, so you have all that money coming in from whatever your fan base, and you have that publicity and stuff. But I mean, so they're probably favored to lose 4 games this year, which is insane to me. Like, with that good of a defense, they're returning a top defense, in my opinion. They have 2 of the best defensive players in college football. So anytime you have that, you're going to have a pretty damn good defense. and they're still predicted to lose 4 games. That's an NFL type win total right there. That's some things you'll see from like the Browns, bro. Like that's not a win total you should see in college football for the reigning national championships.
No, I agree, and that tells you something. They coming back to reality this year, and then some. We want to hit some super chats real quick. I see a couple of them coming in. Johnny Musselman, what is the latest on David Sanders? So, and Funky, obviously you can weigh in, but basically the update is Will Fong. He dropped a Fong bomb or whatever that he's going to Tennessee. That's his prediction. The buzz has been on Tennessee. So I know people are upset and all that, but I think he commits. What's the date? Is it the
27th?
27th?
Is it 27th?
Yeah.
Or is it 24th? Or
one of them days.
One of them days.
In the 20s. I know it's in the 20s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where if that's the case, Ohio State, they got work to do. We've seen this. We've seen it where we've heard that we got the commitment, the silent commitment, and then all of a sudden in the 11th hour, they go somewhere else. Recruiting doesn't stop. So I know the kid is from down south. Tennessee's close to home. I know that's really tough to battle against. I know people don't want to hear nothing like that because they hate Justin Fry.
It's the 17th, by the way.
17th. Oh, okay.
So yeah. Sorry, not 27th, 17th.
17th. Yeah. Okay. But it is what it is. So if we don't get David Sanders, we'll be fine. I don't think we're gonna, the Ohio State program will be shut down or will be firebombed. But it's frustrating. Obviously, we need great tackles, but we're gonna see. I mean, nothing is in pen until signing day, so we will see. But right now, things don't sound good for David Sanders to Ohio State until something changes.
Yeah. So back in July, I got a massive, I'm good friends with a lot of the commits on Ohio State and a lot of recruits on Ohio State and a lot of people that are into Ohio State football. And they gave me extreme positive news on David Sanders. And they basically told me that David Sanders, there's no chance he's not a Buckeye. They're saying, oh, he's a Buckeye, 100% a Buckeye. And now it's this month coming up in August after he took those visits and we couldn't get him on campus. We didn't have the visit weekend, which I think was a massive mistake. And I just don't understand. It just seems lazy to me. It seems like we're carrying, I can go on a rant that forever. I think it's just lazy. And I just don't think we should give any of these teams another opportunity to get any edge on us. So I think, and after that, those visits, before Steve Wiltfong put in his bomb, a few prominent recruits on Ohio State's roster, I gave him a text. I'm like, hey, any update on Sanders? And they weren't as excited or positive as they were. They still said it's going to come down to signing day, and this is not going to end until January, especially after Tennessee can lose 5-6 games this year. But they wasn't very positive, and it sucks to say, and I hate being negative at all. But I mean, it's disappointing. It really is. And losing, and Josh Perry, I'm not sure where that smoke came from for thinking that we're going to get Josh Perry, but it was there for a second there. We had some hope. And all of a sudden that was Crystal Ball to Georgia Tech. And I mean, that Georgia Tech commitment, there's nothing safe about a Georgia Tech commitment. That's one thing I've learned. When you see these 5-stars commit to these random schools, like you just don't, like, I mean, they always decommit. I feel like 9 out of 10 times they end up decommitting, and you're like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, but again, I don't think this is over by any stretch of the imagination, and it's going to come down to whatever. And if Tennessee can actually match up to what they're talking, and if Ohio State's 12-0 when we're winning the Big Ten, that's going to be hard not to commit to on signing day. So, but I think it's a real big prove-it year for Ohio State, and I think on-field production this year with the offensive line can do a lot for this recruitment. Like a huge amount for this recruitment. And so, I mean, I do think there's a logical world where Josh Petty can decommit from Georgia Tech after they go 4-8 and commit to Ohio State. That's a very realistic possibility in my head. I've heard somewhat positive things, but not great positive things about him, but coming to Ohio State, but enough where the smoke is somewhat there. But for David Sanders, the commitment, it's not over. Like, it's just not. It's not going to end. Yeah, even if we got him now, I would still be terrified until signing day. It's like JJ Smith.
Yeah,
like I was point. JJ Smith told us for months, Ohio State, and I was still worried. So that just shows the trust that I could have on a recruit nowadays with all this money going around.
Yeah, so real quick, and I'll move on to the next super chat. Is yes, Funky, I agree. Two parts here with the line playing well this year. the line putting a great product on the field this year and Ohio State winning and surging towards the playoffs versus Tennessee losing 2 or 3 games or more, I definitely think that can make an impact, to see that this line is gelling and playing well. I think that helps for a recruit and his family, especially when the school you're committed to is not doing as well. But as far as Justin Fry keeping his job, because I know people want him fired, and that's fine, because he's not going to get Sanders, or he may not get Sanders. Mm-hmm. To me, the number one concern for Justin Fry is his O-line. If this O-line plays well this year, to me, it doesn't matter if we didn't get David Sanders or not. He'll keep his job that way. But also, by default, I believe that the recruiting will probably be a little easier seeing this line play at a high level this year, which I believe they will. So for those wanting Fry fired, I think you're going to be disappointed. But the flip side is, this line is going to be good this year. So there's that. But all right. So super chat from JC. Thanks for the $4.99. Really appreciate it. Yo, fellas, what do you think the QB run keeper percentage will be this year? Great show. OHIO. Funky, I want you to you jump on that first, and I'll follow up.
I think though. So he's asking like for option plays, right? Like how much the times the quarterback's going to keep the ball in an option play.
That's my assumption. Like a read option keeper or maybe a QB draw, but maybe he's lumping all of it together. But
yeah,
I'm not sure.
So I'll just answer both. I think the run option play between how much time the quarterback's going to keep the ball. I think he'll probably keep it this year 35% of the time, 1/3 of the time about. That's just my honest prediction. I think that's enough where it's going to keep him honest. It's enough where it's going to keep him honest, but enough where they're going to feed Quinshawn and Trayvon a lot because they need to be fed, and those guys are studs, and the offensive line, especially on that left side, is real good this year. So, but I think Will Howard's going to do what he can to run the ball and be 33% of the time. That's for me. That seems like night and day compared to what we've been dealing with. So I think it'll be about that, and then the run pass percentage, I think it'll probably be like somewhere between 60-40 run like running 60% of the time, passing 40% of the time. That just seems like what's going to be trying to feed Trayvon and Quinshawn, but who knows? That'll be harder to predict. I think we're as balanced as we've ever been. So I think it'll just probably depend on the game. And for the Akron game, who knows? For the road games, I'll probably lean on more the run game. So, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
No, I agree. And honestly, I don't have really a number prediction. I have no clue. I just know it's going to be more. And so, you know what I mean? So that alone, more, the word more alone is just going to be exponentially better. So, because not only will you have the keepers, you have the read option plays, you'll have QB power plays. You'll also have the plays where he runs, where he may roll out and keep it, or you'll have plays where he's flushed and he'll run. So we're going to see a lot more running from the quarterback because of that than we've seen. You know what I mean? So that in itself will keep the defense honest and is going to keep them chains moving, which is just wonderful to me. And then also by default, with teams with the 3-headed monster that can all pop you for a long one, it's going to naturally make things a little easier down the field because they're going to have to creep them safeties up and basically they're going to have to trust their DBs one-on-one every now and then and take some chances. And you don't want to do that because even Will Howard was saying in his interviews is that there was things he couldn't do at Kansas State, as far as taking a chance wise, because he didn't have a JJ Smith or a Emeka Abuka that would 50-50 ball you like 80-20.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now he's confident that if it's one-on-one down the field, he can throw it up there and take a chance with a JJ Smith because of the talent, just for example. So it's going to be such a win-win, y'all. Like Will Howard doesn't have to be CJ Stroud as far as ball placement specialist. I saw somebody talk about his deep ball. Yes, he needs to continue to work on his deep ball. So do a lot of other quarterbacks. But the deep ball and the down the field throws are going to be, in my opinion, a little easier because of how explosive our run game is going to be. And you've got to respect it.
Yeah, run game with the running backs and quarterback, which is just like that opens up so much things, which is great. I can't wait to have a running quarterback again. I just think that's how you win college football games nowadays is with a running quarterback. So I can't be more excited. And this year is going to be so fun. Like, we can go on for hours about it, but it's going to be so fun. It's coming up so quickly.
Yeah, and we're coming up on an hour so quickly.
Yeah.
This did not feel like an hour.
No,
Like this felt
it
like
jumped.
15 minutes, man. So the chat. Somebody keeps saying the chat is popping. The chat is popping, man. Like I love this chat. Like y'all bring the energy, man. Like this is great. So I really appreciate the engagement. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this up unless there's anything else that's important we need to touch on real quick that we ain't hit.
No, nothing yet. But all I got to say is, if you're not following Dagasan Poppy on Twitter, it's a must follow for for bets on UFC. He cashed a monster one yesterday. He posts all his slips. He tells us beforehand. It's free money. Just gotta plug that real quick. He's on fire. He has a huge card this Saturday, a few plays coming up. And if you want the inside scoop, just give him a little Twitter DM and he'll give you the inside scoop before everyone else gets it. Maybe get a little better odds. So that's all I got to plug. And thank you guys so much. This was great. I mean, the chat was popping and we appreciated it so much. And this show has been great. So yeah, so I just can't wait for next week. And next week will be 1 week closer to football season.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm about to see if I can. Never mind. I'm going to wait. But yeah, next week, did you want to go ahead and plug Justin or did you want to wait?
Oh, yeah. So next week, we're going to have Justin Spy. Sorry, I'm going to mispronounce the name. I'm sorry.
Spyro?
I should know. I'm sorry. We're gonna have Justin. He's a huge Michigan State. He's super active on Twitter, massive following, and he's been on the money with this Michigan stuff. We're having him on next week. We're gonna probably discuss the Connor Stallions documentary coming up, and knowing next week there'll probably be more Michigan news dropping soon. So he'll be on the show next week, and I can't wait to have him. He's so smart, and he's the one who predicted this. He's the one who told us. He was the first person to point out that Connor Stallions was on the sideline at Central Michigan. He was the first. He broke that story, so he knows this stuff better than pretty much anyone does. And on the Michigan State side of things, he knows it better than any single person on planet Earth. So.
Yeah, he's a good follow. I listened to him on Spaces. I was highly entertained. Him and Yoder. Going back and forth, sharp dude. So I'm looking forward to interviewing him. He calls out scum for all their shenanigans on Twitter. Justin, I believe it's Spiro. It's either Spiro or Spyro. It's Spiro. So we're going to interview him next week, and I'm looking forward to it. But listen, I appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. I can't wait till next Sunday so we can get back on this. Y'all make this show great, like Kirk likes to say. It's true, man. Y'all do. So I appreciate y'all hanging with us, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Go Bucks.
Yep, go Bucks.